So after the long process of spiritual uplifting and Shuvah that we did through time in Elul and the Yomim Noraim, and after experiencing the great Simcha of Sukkot and Simchat Torah, we finally reach Zman Choref, which is the time where we implement all the spiritual uplifting that we had over the Chagim into the Shigrati day-to-day life of just finding the Sidarim and essentially implementing all those great values and ideals that we were uplifted to and bring them down to the day-to-day life. This idea, obviously, Rav Kook talks about in Olat Raya, in Birkat HaChodesh, Chaim sheyesh behem yirat shamayim. The idea is that Chaim, it's a spiritual, it's a habitual life, a day-to-day life, the day-to-day things, and in that we have sheyesh behem yirat shamayim. The Gemara, obviously, in Yonah talks about, quotes the pasuk, "Etalech lifnei Hashem ba'atzot ha'chaim elohem hashvakim." The marketplace is the place where you can really find a Kadosh Baruch Hu. The idea is to find Hashem and to find spirituality in the habitual living of day-to-day life, which is what we're approaching now in the beginning of Zman Choref. Obviously, this is very challenging. It's nothing so easy, because habits, as they are, you just live through them and you go through them without thinking about it too much. And the challenge is really with the day-to-day living, to really see and to feel and to live that kedusha, that spirituality. In our parsha, in Lecha, there is an important idea that when you properly internalize it, it can help us achieve this goal. In Perek Yudaled, the Torah talks about Milchemet Arbat HaMalachim et HaChamisha, and the whole deal with Melchizedek. Immediately afterwards, in first pasuk in Perek Tetvav, it says, "Achar hadvarim ha'eleh hayad dvar Hashem el Avram b'machazeh lemor al tira Avraham scharcha harbe meod." You have great sachar. Kadosh Baruch Hu promises and reassures Avraham, you have great sachar. The Midrash explains the juxtaposition between that whole story and this promise of sachar. The Midrash reads in Al tira Avraham Elohim magen lecha, לפי שהיה אבינו אברהם התפחד, ירדתי לכבשן האש וניצלתי, ירדתי למלחמת המלאכים וניצלתי. תאמר שקיבלתי שכרי בעולם הזה, ואין לי כלום לעולם הבא. Avraham Avinu was afraid. Maybe all these great miracles that happened to him, or all this great zchut that he had, maybe it kind of took away from his cheshbon in olam haba. All the mitzvot that he did, HaKadosh Baruch Hu paid him back with his success in the whole ordeal of the war, of this war with the kings. And he was afraid maybe he lost his credit, so to speak, in Olam Haba. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, don't worry, Scharcha harbe meod. That wasn't Sachar. That was Midat HaChesed. When you were successful with the wars, with the kings, it was Mibchinat Chesed. It wasn't Sachar. This idea essentially is what the Gemara talks about in the Kiddush in the end of the first parak. Schar mitzvot b'hai al maleka. There's no such concept as schar mitzvah, as a reward for a mitzvah in this physical world. It's impossible. The Maharal Miprag explains what is it, how is it? Because we see in these places in the Torah that talks about and then if we go according to the rules of the Torah, then we will have physical it will help us physically. So the explanation is that is not sachar. When we do good things and Hashem rewards us with peace and with prosperity, that's not sachar. That's chesed. That's just chesed that Hashem does with us. That's not sachar. True sachar is something we can only reach in a olam haba. The reason for this being is that a mitzvah is essentially a spiritual act. A mitzvah, Malatanya explains, when a person does a mitzvah, he's like hugging a king with hugging the king, meaning it's this deep idea that the mitzvot are the expression of deep spiritual ideals and ideas that are expressed in the world through physical things, through tefillin, through tzitzit, through lulav, through these many physical things, but they represent and they are part of, they're connected to these great deep spiritual ideas and values that they're unable to be repaid in TV, in natural terms. You can't pay back a mitzvah with something physical, because a mitzvah by nature is something unlimited. It's something completely ein sof. It's not something that can be tangible in this world with physical zachar. This comes to teach us the actual value of mitzvot. When we go through our day-to-day lives and see the value in the small things, in the small mitzvot that we do, with the davening, with our davening, with our learning, with our day-to-day habitual mitzvot that we do, and we understand their value truly, and we really realize and internalize the fact that there's no schar mitzvah b'hai al maleka. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will not give us schar for those in this world. Why? Because they're untangible, completely spiritual acts that somehow came down into this world into the form of a mitzvah. When we really internalize this idea, it will definitely help us understand and value the habitual day-to-day life that we live. We should all have a choref bari. B'ezrat Hashem, we should all have lots of success this month. Shabbat Shalom.